So let's just quickly start with this workshop. And it's going to be a hands-on workshop for students who are stepping into UI UX for the first time. As we have an understanding from the registered students and their background, most of you guys are from pharmacy or someone who has never been in the designing field and don't have an understanding of how we actually approach designing digital interfaces. Therefore, the structure of this workshop that we have designed is like we'll make you familiar with the concepts first, and then we'll move on to the Figma part of the workshop. So it's going to be divided in two sessions. Like the first one would be theoretical and just like a brief discussion of what the concepts are that we use in the design process and just to make you familiar with it. And then the second part of the workshop would be a hands-on workshop where we'll interact on Figma with each other. So moving ahead, let's talk about what are interfaces. I'm sure you guys have come across a lot of interfaces in daily life, as like most of our lives are revolving around these interfaces. It's basically a point of interaction between a user and a system, which enables communication, control, and feedback. So all these examples of interfaces that we come across, for example, camera, whether it be a physical product or a digital product, they have all these purposes, which is basically to simplify interactions. It improves usability and enables task completion for all types of users. It's not designed specifically for a user community. And therefore, the entire experience is made such that the users involve and immerse themselves into the entire experience and make the most out of it. But the essential implementation is at the accomplishment of a particular task from a particular interface for which it is designed. Now, let us see what are the different types of interfaces that we have in the industry nowadays. The first one is a graphical user interface, which is basically a visual-based interface using windows, icons, buttons, and menus. And it's essentially prevalent in the operating systems or web browsers that we come across, even the mobile applications. So essentially, whatever you see which has an image or is trying to convey information using interactive or visual elements, those type of interfaces are categorized into graphical user interface. Then the second one is a command line interface. This one is essentially used by developers and mostly for administration work because it has fast processing, and we don't really require visual elements for this because everyone interacts with them using commands and textual commands basically. So therefore, we the users input commands to perform tasks here, and these are just preferred for their efficiency and direct control of the system. While designing, we sorry, while designing, we usually focus on graphical user interfaces. Now, the next one we have over here is a menu-driven interface. You must have come across these interfaces in self-help kiosks, ATM machines, or just any application which is essentially just menu-based, where it only provides options for navigation for the user. So these are the types of interfaces that we come across over here. And nowadays in the industry, the most prevalent type of interfaces are the conversational user interface, which allows users to interact through voice commands or chatbots. And they especially have self-learning capabilities, which means that they are based on natural language processing and they interact with the users just over voice commands. You must have seen all these examples of Google AI assistants, Siri, and Alexa. All these interfaces, they fall into these categories, and they are mostly employed by AI products because AI products have a feature of a conversational interface where they want to interact more personally with the users and provide an experience which is more immersive. Now, this one is essentially the starting point of all technological development, which is the touch and gesture interfaces. Our mobile systems, even laptops, some of the laptops and tabs that we use nowadays, they all enable interactions using touch or gesture controls. Therefore, all these interfaces are a part of touch and gesture interface, where when we are designing, what we have to keep in mind is like the space of the screen that we have, because our limitations and constraints are designed according to that. And the experience that we are trying to provide to the users is like on touch or a gesture control, a particular feature should be implemented. Now we have all these examples in our daily life for mobiles, even gaming devices, and most of our technologies are built on this type of interface. Now, moving ahead, what we are going to focus on is the digital interface. There are further types of interfaces as well, like physical interfaces, but now we are going to focus on especially digital ones, since we are going to be designing just the digital interfaces. This is the medium through which users interact with digital systems. It's not just limited to softwares and devices, but it is an ecosystem essentially, which enables input, processing, and feedback all together. Now, what are the different types of digital interfaces that we can design in the industry? First is web interfaces. In web interfaces, the applications usually are run in the browser and they're accessible across different types of systems and devices, rather it be a mobile or a laptop. So while designing these kind of interfaces, the things we have to keep in mind is like the design should be responsive, which means that the website can also implement all the features in a mobile application where the space and size of the screen is limited. Then the second category is desktop interfaces. These interfaces are essentially designed for operating systems, which are utilized in physical computers. Therefore, their sample space, and limitations for designing have different constraints, because according to the operating system, whatever features are being implemented, as you've seen, like all the interfaces different in the terms like how they interact with the user. If you are using Ubuntu or Linux, it's usually command based, but they also have like a graphical user interface feature. And with Windows, it's usually made for simplicity so that all types of users from across all ages can interact with it. And when it comes to Mac, it's more design based because it facilitates those kinds of softwares and applications. Then moving on to variable interfaces. These are implemented in smartwatches or any other variable physical device that we are using, whether it be a physical device that's for sports and sport enthusiasts. So the limitation with designing these kind of interfaces is that the screen is really small. So the designers have to prioritize only the most essential features that are accessible with just a touch. And the second type is voice interfaces that we've seen are utilized in the command line conversational user interfaces using AI. Now moving on to the immersive interfaces, these create these create a very immersive experience for the users, making use of augmented reality and virtual reality technologies. In like they build on top of the real world to provide a user experience in which the user can implement something or some features beyond what is actually possible for the real world. And it also depends on like what kind of device they are using, but essentially we've seen the use of these interfaces in virtual gaming setups and some other physical devices that we use. For example, for even for like neuroscience, there are some devices that make use of these technologies in order to analyze like our brain readings and all those things. So that's where we make use of all these interfaces. Now, what is the connection between a user and the system directly? As we've seen that people have goals and needs and expectations when they're thinking of a product, then the interface is like a digital touch point for interaction with the system. The system itself is a digital engine that processes and delivers value to those users for what functionality they are preferring that physical system for. Now, when we understand users deeply, we build better interfaces and systems that truly make a difference, which solves a real problem. And that is what the purpose of a designer is. It's basically to understand the user needs and then translate into design solutions. So design is not just about how it looks and how it is visually appealing for the users, but it's also about how it works and what it is able to achieve through that physical or digital application. Now, do we have any questions so far, or would you like to discuss anything about this? You guys can unmute yourself or just let me know if you would like to proceed further.
Okay, so guys, it's really necessary to interact at this phase because these are the fundamentals that we'll be taking ahead, and all the knowledge later on in this workshop will be built on this fundamental only. So if any one of you have any doubt or need any clarity on a particular topic, please feel free to put it on the chat box or raise your hand or directly ask question by turning on your mic, because these are the fundamentals and the core terms which we'll be using throughout this workshop. So I hope interface सबको समझ में है क्या चीज है. एक simple language में अगर मैं कहूँ everyone is comfortable with Hindi and English both, or shall I continue only in English? Because sometimes it's easier to make you understand in a local language, and it breaks the barriers. So that's what actually a purpose of interface as well. To, it helps as it acts as a communication between a machine and a human, because humans cannot speak in computer language. Computer understand in bits, 0 and 1. तो हम सारी चीजें उसमें नहीं कर सकते. So आपने कमांड लाइन इंटरफेस जो देखा था मैम ने आपको दिखाया, over there the interface का interaction, the interaction with the machine was happening through codes. जो C code, C++ code आपने नाम सुने होंगे, Python, all these codings are used to interact with a computer machine, a computer system. So now what digital interfaces does, GUI, particularly graphic user interface, is that it eases out this process. तो सबसे पहले Windows and Apple they came up with this Windows वाली थीम कि अलग अलग चीज के अलग अलग विंडोज होंगे. अब आप ब्राउजर ओपन करते हो तो एक विंडो आ जाता है. आप अगर कोई एप्लीकेशन ओपन करते हो, लेट्स से अगर आपने कोई म्यूजिक प्लेयर ऑन करके रखा हो तो इसका एक अलग विंडो ओपन हो जाती है. सो दैट्स द नेम विंडोज इज कॉल्ड, कि वो अलग अलग विंडोज में आपकी अलग अलग एप्लीकेशन से स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. यू आर एबल टू इंटरेक्ट विद द मशीन. अगर आप वीडियो प्लेयर ऑन करें तो यू आर एबल टू प्ले वीडियोस. उसके नीचे कुछ बटन्स होते हैं प्ले के, पॉज के, फॉरवर्ड करने के, बैकवर्ड करने के. So all these things are a part of a digital interface. You have to see this each and every application. Whatever you are using in your laptop, in your mobile phone, those are digital interfaces. Whether you are using any digital interface to interact with computers or with any industrial machine or anything, those are all interfaces. So there are even digital interfaces. So even this mouse has an interface where I can click, I can scroll. So these are also part of interfaces, but do not get confused right now. These are physical interfaces. We are focusing on digital interfaces, जहाँ पे हम digitally एक system को देखते हैं. जैसे आपका लैपटॉप हो गया, मोबाइल फोन हो गया, यहाँ पे टच होता है, टैप होता है, पॉइंटिंग कर्सर होता है, हवरिंग होती है, कर्सर को आप हवर करते हैं. तो all these things are a part of interaction that happens in a digital interface. So please, if you have any doubt or any confusion or any, you know, obviously doubts in that, कि interface क्या है और अगर अभी नहीं समझा तो let us know. We can go further into depth, or if everything is fine, please give a thumbs up so that we can proceed further ahead. Shall we? Guys, come on, be responsive. It's a design class. I know you are coming from diverse backgrounds, but in design, what we say is, जितना ज़्यादा हम बात करेंगे, जितना इंटरेक्टिव होंगे, उतनी बेटर लर्निंग होगी आपकी. So feel free, and you can turn on your mic, you can interact with your chat box. Okay, it's fine. So we'll be moving ahead with the workshop then. I hope no one of you are having any doubts till this slide. Okay.
Yeah. So now moving on to the users, who are the target users that we design for. It's essentially a specific group a product is designed for. They have and share similar characteristics, they have similar goals and similar behaviors. Now, understanding users, it essentially helps the designers to make informed decisions about what kind of features would actually help them accomplish the functionalities they are looking for in any application. Rather be it like a mobile application or a web application, every application has its purpose, and all the features that we are including in those applications are based on informed decisions that we get from research on the users, like what are their expectations and what do they actually need. For example, here we are looking at a food delivery app, and the users that are targeted through this app can be busy students and working professionals who require quick delivery of foods to their location. Since they have a limited time period, so what they need is like a quick glance of the menu as it's seen in the first screen. Then they can add it to the cart essentially, and then just also select the ingredients that might be included in the recipe, or they want to choose something like that. So what this does is like facilitates a quick delivery system, which is required and needed by busy students and working professionals. So by understanding the nature, like they have time constraints and even maybe they cannot commute further during their lunch breaks. So this application is fulfilling that user need by prioritizing the designs and the features through the application itself. Now, what are new user needs? It is the core requirement that users expect from a particular product. It helps users in achieving their goals and make guided design decisions. A user has a particular goal, then it is transformed into a user need, which is understood by the designer, and then they provide a design solution for every need. So it's like a mapping of a list of needs and requirements that the users have with the design solutions that we are proposing and to the team. And sometimes we also check the feasibility of a particular feature that we are proposing, considering the constraints that we have or the budget. So according to that, these features are then prioritized and then included in the application to achieve that functionality. Here we can see that there are a lot of user needs that can span across different domains, which is like efficiency, community, emotion, support, control. So all these are reflected in the form of a feature list that is expected from the particular application we are designing. Now let's talk about what is a functional need. Functional needs relate to what users want to accomplish in terms of just core functionality. Someone wants to book a ticket, they'll just design a ticket booking app. For the best example is IRCTC app, where we want to book train tickets, or just something like Zomato or Swiggy, where we can order food quickly. Here, our essential functionality is being accomplished through the entire application flow. Then the next one is accessibility need. Accessibility ensures that the products can be used by as many people as possible, which means that it should not be limited or restricted to a particular user group. It should span across a wide variety of users so that all users from all ages can use a particular product and they don't have any hindrance while using that product. Now, how it is achieved in the design perspective, it's achieved using scannable buttons and readable text, which makes sure that it is accessible for everyone. If someone has a visual impairment, then also if the text size is bigger, they can read, like the readability is clear. They can read the content of the application and navigate through the application easily. For example, here we see in the left stream, the text is really small. It's not readable even by us. However, in the right screen, the layout is quite spacious, and the text size, when we'll use it in the mobile application, it's quite sufficient for a normal user to access that information. So this is essentially an accessibility need that everyone focuses on when we are talking about the users. The next one is the usability need, where usability focuses on ease of use, like how easy it is for the user to use that application further. Now, what we use is like this kind of diagram essentially when we are specifically talking about touch interfaces. For example, this part of the screen is easily navigable because when we are holding a phone, it is the area of the screen that is easily accessible by our thumb. Then, if we move further into the screen, we have to stretch further, and the red zone is the hardest part to achieve, like using basic like movement of the thumb. Therefore, any cross buttons or any closing application features, we usually put it on the top because it's difficult to reach it. So even by accident, the application or the screen is not closed. For example, while processing payment, we have to design it such that even by mistake, the user is not like supposed to access the cancel button. Therefore, just for easy navigation and access for information, we have to focus on the usability need. And then comes the emotional need. Every time when a user is using a particular product, they feel a certain emotion, which is also linked to the brand identity of the application and the company of which the product is. So user wants to feel confident, trust, satisfaction, and delight while using a particular application. Therefore, if it's like a delivery app, if we see the status of where the food has reached and how much time it will take to accomplish the entire order that we placed on the application, then all these are indicators of like the process is being initiated, it has been completed, or our food is on the way. It makes us happy and it gives us like a constant feedback of what the state of the entire process is in. Therefore, in this way, like when we are designing, we have to keep in mind like what kind of emotion we are trying to portray to the user. Is it just like something which is absolutely like an administrative kind of application where we don't need to focus much on the emotional aspect, but have to focus essentially on the functional aspect? Or is it something which is like interactive with the users while we are designing like a playful application? Then we have to invoke emotions like joy or a sense of satisfaction of a completion for a milestone. As we have seen in Duolingo, I'm sure if anyone has used it, they are like small milestones that has been put in the application just to keep it interactive and let the emotions of the user flow according to the process so that he does not feel disconnected with the application. Then moving over, this is the hierarchy of needs in which we prioritize the needs and focus on them accordingly. The first and foremost is the functional need. Then comes the accessibility need, where the application needs to be usable also. Then it's prioritized by the usability needs. And the last one that we focus on is the emotional needs, because users need a product that works first, then the one they can access and is it easy to use, and finally the one that creates a positive emotional connection. So in this way, while we are identifying the needs, we have to also keep in mind like what kind of a need it is and what are we trying to achieve with our product. That in that way, once we have decided and are thinking along this line, even our designing during our designing phase, that's how we proceed with it. Now, here's a mini activity that we've prepared for you guys. It's going to be across 5 to 10 minutes. What you have to do is like choose any application on your phone and identify who are the target users and what are their top 3 user needs. You can just write it down in your mobile or a notepad if you have it handy. And we'll just quickly go over it and skim through it. And like I would like to know like what if you've understood how to think about the user needs. Here is an example for the same. The application we are focusing on is Zomato, and we've identified the target users to be busy students and working professionals. Their age ranges from 18 to 35 years of age, usually, and they are located in urban areas. Now, what are the needs that we are accessing from this application, which is fast and reliable food delivery, choice of restaurants. We have multiple cuisine options as well through these restaurants. Then there's an easy ordering experience that the application provides with real-time tracking of the orders. Then we can also see offers and discounts and reviews and ratings in this application. So similarly, feel free to choose any one application that you guys use constantly on a daily basis, where you are able to identify like who the target users are and what do you think their possible user needs could be, and that they are trying to achieve through that application. So just take like 5 to 10 minutes to think about that and note down these points. Even if it's like 2 to 3 user needs that you've identified, that's also fine. And we just like to know your thinking along the way.
Thank you, Vidya ma'am. So, before starting the activity, please give me a few moments कि यहाँ तक की सारी चीजें अभी तक clear हो रही हैं. Please ask the doubts. Please ask question and trust me on this. There is no silly questions. Sometimes the most silliest questions becomes the most important point, you know. So please do not think कि मैं ये पूछूं तो क्या अच्छा लगेगा, क्या खराब लगेगा, ये कैसा सवाल है. आप ये वर्कशॉप स्टार्ट कर से दिस इज द डे वन. सो आई थिंक दिस इज वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट टू लेट यू नो दैट हम डिजाइन में जितना बात करेंगे, जितनी सारी क्वेश्चंस हम पूछेंगे, उतना बेटर होगा हमारे लिए एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्रिएट करना. तो बेटा आप लोग को जो भी कहीं पर भी कोई डाउट आ रहे हो, आप मेरे से हम लोग से डायरेक्टली पूछ सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम इसी के बेस पे आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे. और अगर हमारा फंडामेंटल, हमारा बेस ही अच्छे से डेवलप नहीं होगा ना, तो फिर आगे का जो अभी हमारे पास 9 days हैं, वहाँ पे फिर प्रॉब्लम्स हमारे पास आएंगी. सो बिफोर स्टार्टिंग दिस एक्टिविटी, प्लीज लेट मी आस्क यू, हैव यू अंडरस्टूड कि इंटरफेस क्या है? दूसरी चीज, यूजर क्या है? क्योंकि यूजर और इंटरफेस आर कनेक्टेड. हम यूजर के लिए ही इंटरफेस डिजाइन कर रहे हैं. अगर ये इंटरफेस इस यूजर को समझ में नहीं आएगा, तो इस इंटरफेस का कोई सेंस नहीं बन रहा, कोई यूज ही नहीं करेगा. अब एक ही चीज को यूज करने के कितने सारे एप्लीकेशन है मार्केट में. जोमेटो के जैसे मैम ने एग्जांपल लिया, आप फूड ऑर्डर जोमेटो से करते हो, और कौन सी एप्लीकेशन जिससे करते हो? प्लीज कम ऑन, स्टार्ट टाइपिंग ऑन द चैट बॉक्स. लेट्स हैव अ क्विक सेशन. थोड़ा स्टार्ट मूविंग योर फिंगर्स नाउ. आप जितना फिंगर्स मूव करेंगे उतना आपका फिर ब्रेन मूव होएगा. So start writing on the chat. Give me the name of the apps that you use to get food delivered at your place, cooked or uncooked. ठीक है, ingredients भी order करते होगे ना. Everyone is in student phase. Swiggy, yes. Yeshika. Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, cool. Zepto. तो I guess big bazaar या something, big market भी है, big basket भी आ गया है, देहरादून. Yes, schools, all these applications. Now you see there are so many applications doing the same thing. ये सब के सब स्विगी भी वही कर रहा है, ब्लिंकिट भी वही कर रहा है, बिग बास्केट भी वही कर रहा है. अब यूजर किसके पास जाएगा? कई रीजंस होते हैं उसके. एक होता है प्राइस चेक करते हैं कई बार हम लोग कि जोमेटो में प्राइस सस्ता दिखा रहा है, या फिर स्विगी में कम दिखा रहा है, या ब्लिंकिट में कम दिखा रहा है. अगर कॉमोडिटी की प्राइस चेक करनी हो हमको तो जियो मार्ट, यस ऑफ कोर्स मोहित, जियो मार्ट. So all these companies are doing the same thing. और मैं किसी को भी ओपन करके किसी भी ऐप को अपना काम कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन यूजर का दिमाग किस तरीके से चलता है, जो ऐप यूज करना उसके लिए ज्यादा इजी होगा वो उस ऐप में जाएगा, या फिर जिस ऐप में ज्यादा फायदे मिलेंगे. अब फायदे की बात मैम ने भी आपको बताया था, नीड्स, वो बेनिफिट्स हैं, वो नीड्स हैं. एक्सेसिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, इमोशनल नीड्स पूरी होनी चाहिए, सेटिस्फैक्ट्री होना चाहिए हमारा ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स कम इन टू प्ले. Or this is not something which is directly interpreted from the interface. This happens in your brain, this happens in our mind in the backstage. और उसकी वजह से हमारे डिसीजंस बनते हैं कि हमको कौन सी ऐप यूज करनी. कोई बोलता है यार ब्लिंकिट यूज कर, क्योंकि मेरे यहाँ पर जहाँ पर मैं रहता हूँ उस लोकेशन पे ये लाने में टाइम ले लेता है, ब्लिंकिट का स्टोर पास में. So even the physical presentation of store is also impacting the usage of application. तो बहुत सारी फैक्टर्स होते हैं, इनमें हम वो फैक्टर्स को ध्यान में रख रहे हैं जो फैक्टर्स डिजिटली हमको ऐप यूज करने में, थंब हमारा कहाँ मूव कर रहा है, कितना इजी हम स्क्रॉल कर पा रहे हैं, हमारे मेन्यूज कितना इजीली हम देख पा रहे हैं, स्कैन कर पा रहे हैं, जो हमें चाहिए वो कितना इजीली हम सर्च कर पा रहे हैं. तो ये सारी चीजें एक ऐप को यूजेबल ऐप बनाती हैं, एक गुड एक्सपीरियंस क्रिएट करती है यूजर में, एक ट्रस्ट जनरेट करती है यूजर में, और उसकी वजह से यूजर बार बार उन एप्लीकेशंस को यूज करता है. ठीक। तो ये समझना यहाँ पर कि यूजर की क्या नीड्स है, उसको एक इंटरफेस में क्या चाहिए, क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है उसके उस इंटरफेस से, उनके क्या बिहेवियर्स है, क्या पैटर्न्स है जो यूजर खुद भी नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं। लेकिन और ये कंपनी सब यही करती है, जो कंपनीज यूएक्स डिजाइनर्स हायर करती है, तो वो सिर्फ एप्लीकेशन डिजाइन करने के लिए नहीं करवा रही है हायर, वो ये करवाने के लिए कि मेरे कस्टमर की नीड कैसे चेंज हो रही है। आप देखते हो यूट्यूब में ही, आप लोग जब पुराना अगर किसी ने यूज किया हो तो इंटरफेस ओवर टाइम धीरे धीरे चेंज होता गया है। हर एक एप्लीकेशन में होता है। आपके पास एप्लीकेशन आती है, फिर कुछ महीनों के बाद उसका एक अपडेट आता है, फिर वो आपको बोलता है अपडेट इंस्टॉल करो। तो ये अपडेट क्यों आ रहे हैं? ये अपडेट भी आप सोचिए इसीलिए आ रहे हैं, इंटरफेस चेंज हो रहा है क्योंकि यूजर अडेप्ट कर ले रहे हैं नए इंटरफेसेस को। हम नई चीजें देखते हैं, जो फॉर एग्जांपल एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल है, स्वाइपिंग। पहले टिकटॉक से पहले स्वाइप का उतना ज्यादा यूज नहीं था, लेकिन टिकटॉक जब आया उसने एक नए जेस्चर को, स्वाइप को, इतना ज्यादा डोमिनेंट बना दिया कि नाउ मोस्ट ऑफ द एप्स आर यूजिंग दैट काइंड ऑफ इंटरफेस। और दैट इज द एडेप्टेशन, कि यूजर कैसे नए इंटरफेसेस को अडेप्ट करता है, और फिर वो अपनी दूसरी एप्लीकेशन से भी वही एक्सपेक्टेशन रखता है कि यार इसका भी इंटरफेस ऐसा होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये यूज करने में मेरे को बहुत मजा आ रहा था। अब नाउ इवन यूट्यूब, इंस्टाग्राम, एवरीवन इज यूजिंग दैट टिकटॉक वाला स्वाइपिंग वाला फीचर, कि आपने एक स्वाइप किया दूसरी रील आ गई, फिर स्वाइप किया तीसरी रील आ गई। सो दिस इज हाउ हमारा जो ब्रेन है एक अडेप्ट करता है टेक्नोलॉजी को, और अडेप्ट करता है नए इंटरफेसेस को। कई बार शायद कोई ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस हुआ हो, अगर आप याद करें, कि आप कोई नई मशीन घर पे लेकर आए, लेकिन आप उसको इंटरेक्ट करना में कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कौन सा बटन दबाऊं, क्या करूं। तो ये कंफ्यूजन इसलिए होता है क्योंकि हम ये यूजर नीड नहीं समझ पाते, हमारे यूजर किन चीज को किस वे में परसीव कर रहा है, किस वे में देख रहा है, वो हम नहीं समझ पाते। तो ये जो एक्टिविटी आपको अभी मैम ने दी है, ये एक्टिविटी में थोड़ा सा टाइम जरूर लगेगा, सही गलत कुछ भी नहीं है। आर मोटिव इज कि आप बस इस एक्टिविटी को करें, फिर बाद में उसको सही करवाएंगे। डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, इसमें सही गलत देखने मत बैठना। एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली प्लीज अभी एआई का यूज मत करना, प्लीज डू नॉट डू दैट फॉर योर ओन बेटरमेंट। आप अभी जैसा करना है, जिस वे में करना है आप करिए, लेकिन गो थ्रू द प्रोसेस ऑन योर ओन। बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस वर्कशॉप यू विल गेट टू नो कि एआई कहाँ पर आपको लेवरेज प्रोवाइड करेगा, कहाँ आपको और बेटर क्रिएट करने में, डिजाइन क्रिएट करने में हेल्प करेगा। सो अभी ये वाला काम हमारा खुद के करने का है। इसके आगे बाय द एंड ऑफ द वर्कशॉप we'll move we'll let you know, we'll have a session, QA session, जहां पर हम आपको आगे के लिए गाइड करेंगे। So any doubts, any questions up till now, you can please also share your own experience and discuss with me. Any experience about using these applications or any interface, or any mismatch in the user expectation and the interface that actually you got। कोई ऐसा आपका कोई पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है, एनीवन वांट टू शेयर? प्लीज, स्टोरीज के थ्रू लर्निंग बहुत अच्छी होती है, सो प्लीज कम अप विथ योर स्टोरीज। आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपके क्या एक्सपीरियंसेस रहे, और एक्सपीरियंसेस से क्या लर्निंग हो सकती है, एंड हाउ दोज एक्सपीरियंसेस आर गोइंग टू हेल्प अस to develop our understanding on Figma in a better way in this workshop. Anyone wants to share anything real quick? Nope. Come on, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि कोई भी एक्सपीरियंस ना हो कंफ्यूजिंग इंटरफेस का, या फिर जहां पर आप कंफ्यूज हो किसी प्रोडक्ट को लेकर। Exactly, you have to interact because this is a hands-on workshop, and we'll be helping you to do this workshop. Yeah, ma'am, just please can you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so what I said is like I'm sure most of you guys must be using social media applications, right? Almost everyone. So even if you're like just analyzing those ones, then also it's fine. We'll just discuss it accordingly. Is it still off? You guys can hear me now, right? Yeah. Hello. Yes, guys. So since I'm sharing my screen, it is a little bit difficult for me to see what you guys are interacting with. That's why I have to see in Sir's screen.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, you have used social media
Ma'am,
applications.
mic is off, ma'am.
It's on now, sir.
Are we audible now, guys? Nandini, are we audible now?
Hmm. So now they would like to discuss about social media applications, sir. That's what we are going to focus on for target user needs.
Yeah. Social media apps. So what particularly in the social media app are we designing for? What is the core function if you think of it? Do you have any particular app in mind? Can you suggest me any app? So we'll go and in depth about it.
Instagram. Hmm.
Okay. So Instagram, what do you think are the target user of Instagram? किनको कौन है target users? अगर हम बोले let's start with one thing at a time. Age group. आपको क्या लगता है किस एज ग्रुप के लोगों को इंस्टाग्राम कंपनी जो है वो टारगेट करती है? उनके टारगेट कंज्यूमर टारगेट ऑडियंस कौन है? कौन सबसे ज्यादा यूज करते हैं इंस्टाग्राम? 18 to 30 years. Nice, Paridhi. Yes, it's a good bracket. Actually, it's somewhere in that age group only, 18 to 30. तो all the features जितने भी ये ऐप डिजाइन करती हो, जिस तरीके के इंटरेक्शन रखना है इस ऐप को, ये एक क्राइटेरिया हमारे पास आया 18 to 30 years, जिसे हम कहेंगे लेट्स से कॉल इट अ डेमोग्राफिक क्राइटेरिया. इज इट अ लोकेशन बेस्ड? क्या किसी को ज्योग्राफी को पर्टिकुलरली कंसाइज करता है? क्या ये इंस्टाग्राम फोकस करता है किसी पर्टिकुलर ज्योग्राफी पे? यस और नो? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? ये नो एग्जैक्टली, इट्स अ नो. ये पूरी ग्लोबल एप्लीकेशन है. हर एक यूजर, इंडिया का भी यूजर वही इंटरफेस देख रहा है जो यूएस में बैठा यूजर देख रहा है, और जो रशिया में बैठा हुआ है या फिर जो साउथ अफ्रीका में बैठा हुआ है. सो अक्रॉस ग्लोब the interface is same, so it is not defined on a geographical location. Now let's come to the other points. There are multiple ways to understand who the target audience are. जैसे मैंने एक example दिया age के through. Now we can also go in a pattern way, finding a particular pattern or the behaviors in these users. तो क्या ये users का कोई particular common चीज है जो आप बोल सकते हो कि they have something in common? क्या हो सकता है? आपके पास ऑलरेडी एक फैक्टर आ चुका है एज ग्रुप 18 to 30. अब इन 18 to 30 ईयर्स के एज ग्रुप में जो लोग ये इंस्टाग्राम एप्लीकेशन यूज कर रहे हैं, आपको क्या लगता है उनमें कोई भी मेजर कॉमन फैक्टर है क्या? मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ 100% ऑफ वो में कॉमन रहेगा, लेकिन 70% 80% में भी अगर कोई चीज कॉमन है तो आप बता सकते हो व्हाट आर दे? 18 to 30 ईयर्स की एज ग्रुप में what could be something which could be a common factor? Any ideas? Anything? One think. I see. I want answers from your end. आप जितने इंटरेक्टिव होंगे उतना आपको ये एक्टिविटी और समझ भी आएगी. So let's say, give you an example. Constant need for new content to consume. Yes, exactly. That is one of a very crucial need. Constant need for new content. So what we call it fast food generation.
Hmm.
So we quickly want new things to come up, new
Yeah.
ideas to generate, new triggers to trigger our thinking and our thought process. So yes, that is one of the crucial factor which is common amongst these people. Anything else apart from this? Thank you, Shriyanko. Let me know if I am mispronouncing your name. ये कई बार हो जाता है, तो अगर मैं आपका नाम गलत प्रोनाउंस कर रहा हूँ तो let me know. Anything else? Interaction with other people? Yes, interaction with other people. Instagram पे के जरिए से we call it social media for this particular reason. What else? Now we are getting into it. Oh, keep on typing. अभी endless responses आ सकते हैं इसको. Constant need to seek validation. Okay, so this I would suggest this is actually somewhat how the people are taking it, which I do not say ethically is correct, but हाँ ठीक है ये हो रहा है. We cannot deny the fact. So to seek validation, yes, it's appropriate, but I am uncertain about the percentage of the people. Relatable content for every individual, yes. Earning through content creation, earning exactly. Now someone is focused on the other side of this application. If there are viewers, there are generators. तो ये व्यूअर्स अगर कम हो जाते हैं तो भी ये फंक्शन नहीं करेगी. अगर जनरेटर जो है कंटेंट जनरेटर अगर वो कम हो जाते हैं तो भी ये फंक्शन नहीं करेगी. तो थैंक यू फॉर नोटिसिंग दिस थिंग अबाउट कि यूज आप यहाँ पर आपका यूजर एक क्रिएटर भी कंटेंट क्रिएटर भी एक इंस्टाग्राम पे यूजर है obviously. So in this right now we are focusing only on the consumer end जो consume कर रहा है content को, not on the creators and right now. Okay, so this is called two different stakeholders of a particular application. So जैसे जोमेटो में भी होता है सेम चीज. एक यूजर है जो कि रेस्टोरेंट्स से ऑर्डर कर रहा है, दूसरा इसका स्टेक होल्डर होता है रेस्टोरेंट्स जो एक्चुअली उसको फिल अप कर रहे हैं उस ऐप को, उसमें कंटेंट दे रहे हैं. So yes, that's a very good point to be noticed. And earning through content creation to build a personal brand. Yes. Again, coming to there is interaction with other people to let them know what kind of work you are doing to create your own personality or your own validation, to create your own content. Yes. Anything else? Most of the people of this age group, आपने college कब join किया था? At what age were you? At what age did you join the college? Somewhere around 17, 18, 18, right? So 18 to 30 का अगर हम bracket देख रहे हैं, so these are mostly individuals either who are in colleges, क्योंकि देखिए 20 तक तो 2020 21, 22nd, 2 तक तो आपका graduation and all these things goes on. Particularly, I'm talking about the scenario in India. Okay, and then you go out for masters. So आप मान के चलो 25 तक की एज जो है वो स्टूडेंट वाली एज है where you are stepping out of your home and you are involving in a new environment, getting things done by yourself, learning new ways to do things. घर में बैठी चीजें बहुत आसान होती हैं, लेकिन जब आप बाहर निकलते हैं घर से तो things are completely different. So yes, even that is one common behavior that people are starting their individual lives at particularly at this phase, or maybe started taking their own decisions. Now these days I started quite earlier also, but that is the age where you have get this authority to make your own decisions, to do things on your own way. So that is also one simple thing which can be noticed in your target audience. Okay, cool. So are you now able to understand or at least visualize कि किसके लिए ये ऐप बनी हुई है इंस्टाग्राम, इनके क्या कैरेक्टर ट्रेट्स हैं? Now we can also think in different other ways also. Now what we can also look into is ये लोग जो हैं 18 से 30 की एज ग्रुप के, they are having all these motives, interaction with people, relatable content, earning through content creation, to seek validation, to share their experiences with people globally across the platform. What kind of apps do they go to, और उनके मोबाइल फोन में कौन सी apps हैं जो कॉमनली आपको मिलती होंगी। कॉमन एप्स क्या होंगे इनके मोबाइल में? इंस्टाग्राम इज अ मोबाइल बेस्ड एप्लीकेशन प्राइमरली। तो ऐसी और कौन सी एप्स हैं जो पर्टिकुलरली इस सेगमेंट के लोग यूज कर रहे होंगे या करते हैं? या किस एप्स की ज्यादा चांसेस है, हाई चांसेस है कि इनके मोबाइल फोन में होगी ही होगी वो? अभी ये मैं क्यों पूछ रहा हूँ, इससे भी आपको एक आइडिया मिलेगा। व्हाट्सएप, स्पॉटिफाई, यूट्यूब, यस, स्नैपचैट। तो ये सारी एप्स बताती हैं, आपको गाइड करती हैं कि किस तरीके के यूजर इंटरफेस से आपका यूजर ऑलरेडी इंटरेक्टेड है, अगर आपका यूजर ऑलरेडी कंफर्टेबल है। तो अगर हम उनके जैसा ही कुछ इंटरेक्शन रखेंगे तो ही विल फील he or she will, they will feel comfortable using that application. उनको लगेगा हाँ ये तो ऐसे कि जैसे मैं सालों से ऐप चलाता आ रहा हूँ। क्योंकि ये सारे रेडिट, mainly YouTube, Spotify, WhatsApp, yes, these are the competitor apps or the apps that are going to help us understand कि किस तरीके के इंटरेक्शन हम अपनी एप्लीकेशन में डाल सकते हैं। तो अभी हम इंस्टाग्राम की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर मान के चलो आपको अपनी कोई नई खुद की ऐप बनाना हो, जो कि आप बनाओगे इस वर्कशॉप, तब फिर कैसे आप डिसाइड करोगे कि मेन्यू मेरा ऐसे जाना चाहिए या ऐसे जाना चाहिए या टैप होना चाहिए या कहाँ टैप होना चाहिए? सो ये सारी चीजें विल हेल्प यू टू अंडरस्टैंड और मेक अ कैलकुलेटेड डिसीजन कि व्हाट could be the things which can be helpful and which can be easy for our user. Okay, so you can see all the points. Madam is jotting down all the points in the presentation, and we'll also be providing this presentation to them. So after the end of session, you can also take this presentation and go through it later after the completion of this workshop. So let's come back to the activity. Ma'am, can you please open the page? Yeah. Okay. So now this was about the target user. तो टारगेट यूजर को समझने के मैंने आपको दो चार तरीके बताए। एक तो डेमोग्राफिक की बेसिस पर आप समझ सकते हैं, एज हो सकता है उसमें, मैरिटल स्टेटस हो सकता है, जेंडर हो सकता है। इफ द एप्लीकेशन इज जेंडर बाइज्ड, कैन एनीवन टेल मी एनी पर्टिकुलर जेंडर बाइज्ड एप्लीकेशन राइट हियर? एक एप्लीकेशन बता सकते हो तो मेजरली इट्स जेंडर बाइज्ड एप्लीकेशन? एनीवन? Because there are applications that are gender biased, made particularly for females or made particularly for males. Naomi, Savannah, yes, exactly. So there are few apps which also have this consideration in mind. Okay, so we call it demographic consideration. तो इसमें आपका एज आ जाता है, आपके मैरिटल स्टेटस आ सकता है, आपकी what we call it, genders आ सकते हैं और identities आ सकती हैं। all these things cover up in this. Then we have psychographic, जहाँ पर हम behavioral patterns और कॉमन ट्रेट्स के ऊपर फोकस करते हैं, जैसा भी हमने किया था इसमें। देन देयर आर ज्योग्राफिकल, जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो लोकेटेड इन अर्बन एरियाज हमने लिखा हुआ है। सो ज्योग्राफी बेस्ड भी एप्लीकेशंस रहती हैं। तो वी हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ डिफरेंशिएशंस, जिस तरीके से हम अपने टारगेट ऑडियंस को और पिन पॉइंट कर सकते हैं, फोकस कर सकते हैं उसको। जितना हम फनल डाउन करेंगे उतना हमारे लिए बेटर होगा अंडरस्टैंड करना। देन कम्स द यूजर नीड सेक्शन। व्हाट आर द यूजर नीड्स? अभी हम साथ में ही बात कर रहे थे, we are parallelly talking about both the things. यूजर की नीड्स क्या है, वो उस एप्लीकेशन का कोर फंक्शन फीचर क्या है। लेटर ऑन अभी इन द वर्कशॉप मैं विल आल्सो लेट यू नो हाउ टू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन द फीचर्स एंड नीड्स, किस तरीके से होती हैं। लेकिन अभी विल राइट डाउन ऑल द थिंग्स व्हाटएवर वी थिंक। जैसे अभी आपने इंस्टाग्राम के बारे में बताया, तो वी हैव गॉट अराउंड 5 to 6 डिफरेंट रिस्पॉन्सेज, क्योंकि सिर्फ अपने बच्चों को रिस्पॉन्स किया। अगर सारे करते तो हमारे पास करीब 20-22 रिस्पॉन्सेज होते उसके different, to seek validation, to interact with other people, relatable content for every individual, earning through content creation, to build personal brand. These are all the user needs or the motives or the motivation for using that application. ये आपको लिखना जरूरी है कि आप ऐप कौन यूज करने वाला है और ऐप वो क्यों यूज करने वाला है। ये दो चीजें हमारे पास आ जाएंगे, हमारे पास एक फ्रेमवर्क क्रिएट हो जाएगा कि हमको मालूम हो जाएगा कि तो इनके लिए बना रहे हैं और इनको ये काम करना है। अब ये हम कितने अच्छे से और कितने बेटर वे में बना सकते हैं अपने इंटरफेस। So that is what we are going to do in this activity right now. Anyone having any doubt up till here? Activity समझ में आई? Yes, you have any? I'm waiting for the response, guys. Activity समझ में आई? क्या करना है, किस तरीके से पहुंच करना है, यूजर को टारगेट यूजर क्या है और उनकी नीड्स क्या है, वो थोड़ा क्लैरिटी आई इस पे। ओके, कैन यू डू दिस ऑन योर ओन नाउ? Are we introducing them to Figma right now?
After the session.
After this session. So अभी आप क्विकली एक सिंपल सी टेबल है, आप कहीं पर भी बना लीजिए, आप अपने नोट डाउन कर सकते हैं उसको, पावर पॉइंट में बना सकते हैं या फिर आप अपने any other software or tool you want to use. Write it down a particular app and उसकी यूजर टारगेट यूजर कौन, उसकी यूजर नीड्स क्या है. So how much time are we allowing them for this activity?
So for now, sir, they'll just note it down and then.
So we'll wait till it's 12:01 right now. Let's be back at 12:06, but we want them to show their on the screenshot, no?
Yeah.
So आप जो भी बनाएंगे ना, उसका screenshot लेकर you have to put it up here. Okay, and don't be afraid.
Or just type
There's
it.
nothing wrong or right at this moment. It's the first step. So later on the workshop will get to know everything is right. It's your understanding that you are going to develop over here. ठीक है, हम सही गलत देखने के लिए नहीं बैठे हैं, हम आपकी एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्रिएट करवाने के लिए यहाँ पर है. सो जो भी आपको समझ में आ रहा है इस टेबल में आप लिखिए, एंड एट 12:06 यू विल बी गिविंग मी अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ इट. ओके.
So this is the format. You can just quickly note down the application name, target users that you think are there, and their target user needs. Activity again. Just explain the activity again. So what you have to do is just take any application that you use on a daily basis, identify who can be the possible target users for that application based on their demographic like details or identities, whether they are like professionals or students or whoever the target audience is. Then what is their age? And if you think there is a physical presence or something limitations or constraints that are there, and then what are the target user needs for that application? Like, why do you think that application is being utilized by that particular group of users or the community? Why are they preferring that application over other applications? Okay, so just quickly take a note of all that and then just share it with us in the chat. We'll give you right now, it's 12:03. So maybe another 3 minutes by 12:06. I'll just keep on sharing my screen and All right, everyone, it's 12:06 now. Do you guys need more time to note down your thoughts, or should we start discussing one by one? Achutyam, are you trying to say something? Okay. So, guys, start sharing in the chat box whatever you've noted down so far. It's fine. We can just quickly go through it and like see if you've understood what are the target users and their needs. Will you guys be able to do it on your own, like after this workshop ends? Then you can share your answers by tomorrow, if that's fine. Like, just let us know how you would like to proceed. Okay, so we've got one answer. Thanks for sharing, Achutya. The application you've selected is Blinkit, and the target users are busy students, workers, and Gen Z. Okay. The age is 18 to 40 and majorly located in urban areas. Yeah, that's correct because not all of the cities have started using Blinkit yet. Even in the some of the small towns, it's not functioning right now. So that's correct. If you've like restricted it to urban areas only, then the user needs can be convenience, urgency, and lifestyle. Yeah, actually, lifestyle is a new kind of user need that has been identified by these product-based companies because it improves the user's experience and efficiency of the application as well. So that's a good one there. Then the next one is LinkedIn. The target users are working professionals. Yeah, absolutely correct. So over here, that as you have mentioned, it's located in urban areas. LinkedIn is an application which is diverse and can be utilized by all the members who are registered on it. So it does not essentially need to be urban areas, but if you were thinking along the line of like working professionals in major cities, then that's fine. Like if you're just restricting it to Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, like that. But again, it's an application which can be utilized by everyone, no matter where they're based. Then the target user needs are easy to connect with people having similar interests and knowledge. Yes, that's correct. New job openings and opportunities. Yeah. And latest updates on current happenings. Yeah. It keeps us updated through the feed as well. That's good. Okay, Webtoon. I see someone's a fan of reading novels and comics. Okay, that's a good one. A good choice, I would say. Then the target users are independent creators and readers. Absolutely. And user needs can be vertical scrolling, search bar, library, offline reading. Yeah. So these user needs essentially are translated into features. What you've noted down are the features that have been extracted from a possible user need that was for the application. The essential user need can be someone like just sharing entertainment comics for entertainment purposes. Someone is trying to share their drawings and artwork through that application by making compiling it into comics. And what you've noted down is like a list of features which makes it easier for the application to achieve all this and provide it to the user in the interface itself. Then the next one we have is Uber, and the target users are daily commuters and travelers. Yeah, 18 plus, that's correct. And needs are quick cab booking, affordable transportation, real-time tracking, and safe travel. Yeah, that's correct. So all of these are really good ones. We'll go through one more. Discord. Yeah, gamers, students, online communities. That's correct. Again, located in urban areas, it does not necessarily have to be restricted, because, as you know, Discord is essentially an application which helps anyone to connect in those communities and on the servers. So over here, we don't have this limitation. But if you are thinking along the lines of like someone who's like well educated and has the facilities of using those setups and like to join it, then it's fine. Then user needs are high quality voice and video chat. That's correct. Easy server creations, absolutely. And screen sharing and platform availability. Yeah, that's correct. It is, this application is actually that is its standout point basically. Like the cross-platform availability for Discord is top notch. Then the next one is Play Store. Yeah, it's global. That's correct if you've identified it. And easy app discovery, absolutely for all Android users. Digital content access. Okay, reviews and rating. Yeah, that's correct. So I think everyone has pretty much understood what target users and their needs are. And if you are like thinking along the line of even the features, then it's fine, but you have to be able to identify like the user needs are being implemented through those features essentially. So right now at this stage, you just have to identify what their needs are from that application. Later on, we'll come on to the features part. Okay. So I guess that everyone has understood so far. Let's move ahead and talk about what is a digital product. So a digital product,
Everyone is presented.
uh, I'm assuming, yes, sir.
Everyone is have presented their screenshot. If someone is facing any bottlenecks in this, please let us know so that we can proceed further. अगर है अभी भी किसी को कोई भी doubt या नहीं बना पा रहा है तो please feel free to ask, and we'll help you out to create this sheet.
Also take note of your answers that you've shared with us, like compile them in a particular file or sheet so that you can share with us at the end of the
We'll be
workshop.
letting them know about Figma. So
Yeah,
we skip
actually,
cutting that. We just keep that screenshots with you.
Hmm.
And later on, we'll be introducing in the by the end of this session, this day, हम आपको Figma introduce करवाएंगे Figma पे. तो वहां पर ही आप ले जाके अपना जितना भी आप पूरा वर्कशॉप का काम करेंगे, we will have a complete access to all the resources and the work that you have done in a one particular Figma file. So we'll take you through it at the end of this session today. Okay, so shall we move ahead? Everyone, I want thumbs up, please. Okay, cool.
Thumbs up received. Okay, so now coming on to digital products. It is essentially a software-based product or service which users access through digital devices such as computers, smartphones, to accomplish specific tasks and solve problems. That's correct. We have an understanding so far that no matter what kind of application it is, the end goal is for the users to do a particular functionality and accomplish a task. Now we have certain examples of these kinds of applications and digital products that we use on a daily basis. First is UPI payments. We use all these applications like Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm for these payment transactions. It provides us with quick and efficient feedbacks of what the status of the order is or transaction is, and all the necessary information is quite handy in these applications. Then, as we've discussed, food delivery applications, Swiggy, Zomato. Now, some of the applications which are not so common, but like nowadays, all the students have been utilizing them, have been edtech applications. For example, Byju's, Physics Wala. They all conduct their seminars, their classes on these applications and provide all the necessary materials through their modules on the applications, which makes it easier for the students and as well as their parents to access all that information and the materials. And it's quite easy, and the navigation is such user friendly that even the parents who are not so like frequent with digital products, they are also able to navigate through these apps. So that is a key point we have to keep in mind while designing. Like it's not just for the users, target users that it is for, like students in this case, but then their parents are also able to access it and like use it properly. Then the last one is e-commerce applications. So I'm sure everyone have used, like must have used Amazon, Flipkart on daily basis. So these are just a few examples of what kind of digital products are there in the market. And most of them have like similar interfaces when it comes to their niche. For example, Amazon, Flipkart, their user experience is all about like presenting the product to you along with the prices and the product description. So they follow a similar pattern and what kind of information they are trying to display. Similarly, all these domains basically, they have like certain features which are quite similar to every application. And on top of there, they have like certain other features which differentiates their application from a competitor application. So we'll dive into the designing part now, like how these applications and interfaces are built from scratch. The most essential component is the UI components, which is user interface components. Every screen, as you know, is built from reusable parts. These can be input parts, output, navigational, and containers. These are the categories of what kind of UI components we use in a particular screen. As you can see over here, it's a container which has like an information presented in a card like layout, and it's essentially just giving the output in the form of a card. Then this is output. Over here, this element is, it can be interactive, but its main purpose is to present information to the users. And the input details, whatever your details might be, we'll capture it in the application using the input fields or text fields. Then the navigational components are what help you move across different screens in an application. So that when you're designing, you have to keep in mind of like the layout. What are you going to include on the screen, and for what purpose are you going to include it? Essentially, so all the screens that you're going to build are going to be on built upon these building blocks, which are like the reusable components. Now let us look into each example of like each category one by one. First is at the input category. Here we are looking at the example of a button. The purpose of a button is to trigger actions. It allows the users to take action in an application, that is what makes it interactive as well. Then we have different states of a button. For example, as you've noticed, like when you click on the button, it if you are just hovering on it, then there's like a slight change in the design of the button. When you've clicked or pressed it, then it usually is like a darker color of the button, or you see like a highlight, which is seen on the button interface. Or sometimes it gives like a 3D feel, which makes it look like a raised button. So all these cues are visual cues that make you understand like, okay, some action has been done on the button, which will eventually lead you to another section of the application or the page. So that is what this kind of component is used for. Then next is an output component. Here we are seeing an example of alerts. These are used to notify users of the status updates. If you see any warnings, any like small notifications that you can easily cross. For example, even when your phone is locked, right? There are notifications that pop up on the screen. So all these are types of alerts which you can quickly like swipe through. You can cross them out if it's not essential or needed at that time. And these are like general updates that you get in the application. If an action has been successful, you get notified that, okay, your application like made it pass through and it has been successful now. So these kind of components essentially provide feedbacks and responses to a certain action that was done previously. Then the next one is navigational component, which helps us in navigating between pages or sections in an application. It supports navigation to access information essentially. Because what is the purpose of navigating to like another page? Because we want to find out more information in that page. Here we have like a work section, which will mostly have projects related to work. Then here is the section for services, which is like what kind of services are being provided by this particular product. If you want to navigate into their career path, where to look at like what kind of people are working here, or what kind of jobs are provided by this company. So every section actually has a purpose, a different purpose of what kind of information is compiled in that page. Therefore, navigational components help us in navigating through different sections, and the sections are also divided in such a way that on a particular section has information content laid out according to what is its purpose. Then containers. These are cards or any other form of layout that we use to group similar and related information together. The most essential use case of cards is seen in Airbnb applications, where all the properties are displayed in the form of cards. All the information that you need for a particular property is compiled into one specific card, along with, like, we have other indicators and cues to show us how popular a certain property is at a particular location. And it helps us in making decisions like which one to choose. If we are planning for a vacation or stay, we have like the reviews and who is the host of the property. All that information is essentially compiled into a short card to display it quickly. So these are the essential building blocks. Now moving on to the Figma part of the workshop. What we'll do is create a Figma account and we'll guide you through it.
On navigation part now. So there's a message coming.
Yeah.
Then could you explain the navigation part again? Okay.
Okay.
Please, computer.
Yeah, sure. So in the navigation part, as I mentioned, like, what is the purpose of a navigational component in an application? If you're swiping through across, like, we have all these gestures as well, right? To go back, to move forward. For example,
the way without navigation, or maybe we can show our screen.
Yeah, so like we can even in this screen, if you pay attention to, this is like we are showing a slide over here, right? However, if we want to go back, then we have the navigational component present over here at the top part. If there are multiple screens that we open while browsing, right? You must be familiar like with browsing. Then we have these shortcuts to like go to the next page that we recently opened or go back. Even in terms of an application, wait, let me just hold it up. Just suggest any name of an application that we want to go through. For example, okay, let's take Cred, right? Now, this is a website and they are following a particular website layout, right? However, it's like a progressive display of information. We go down, down. So like this is their homepage. The main purpose of this landing page is just to introduce the product to us and tell us what they are in business for, what are they doing. Now, if you want to navigate to other sections of this website, we'll make use of navigational components. Every product has its own way of like keeping the layout consistent across their own products, not necessarily identical to other products. This is the navigational menu for their website. Here they have categorized it into such a way that the payments, it's visible, right? So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So like tap to pay, all the payments have been sectioned together. Then the upgrades that they show has been sectioned together in this manner. Sorry, it's yeah. Okay. In this manner, they have like compiled it together. Now company, what is about Cred, careers, it's all put in such a way. The main essential thing for the navigational component to do is like it helps you access different kinds of information through different sections and pages. Now, if you go to the bottom of the website, which is the footer section, over there, everything has been turned into like a clickable instance, which quickly helps you in accessing that information with a click. So it's the same kind of thing that you can navigate through menu also possibly. It depends on the layout of the website or the application that you're using. But yeah, that's the main purpose of a navigational component. Now over here, like we go back and we go forward. So basically we are just accessing different kinds of information through that. Is it clear or should I take another example to explain it?
Is it clear to you now, or shall we discuss in further depth for everyone? It's great. So ये सारे UI components जो हमने अभी देखे, these are the fundamental building blocks which you will be using to create your interface now. Okay, so इसमें अभी अगर किसी को कहीं पर भी कोई डाउट्स हो इनपुट्स में, आउटपुट्स में, कंटेनर्स में या नेविगेशनल में, so we can go once again through it. बाद में भी अगर कोई डाउट होगा तो we can come back at this point. It's completely fine. So let's start towards Figma,
Yeah,
creation of
okay.
Figma account.
So for this, the first thing is like there's an application as well as a browser application for Figma. If you guys would like to download it in your system, it's easily available if you just Google Figma.
तो
Down
ये आप
Windows.
अपने वेब ब्राउजर क्रोम सफारी जो
Yeah.
भी यूज करते हो उससे भी एक्सेस कर सकते हो और आप इसकी एप्लीकेशन भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हो आपके लैपटॉप में. So right now we will suggest you to go
With the browser.
browser only. ठीक है? And let me know how many of you have already created Figma account. Anyone who have already created Figma account, please raise hands. जिनके नहीं है उनका भी क्योंकि बनवा रहे हैं. Okay, you guys already have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
ठीक.
So mostly 80% of the students here are the ones who are using Figma for the first time. So we'll just take
Go through that
everyone, yeah,
steps of
one by
creating.
one.
So almost everyone is having a
Yeah. So if you'd like to download it, here's
Okay,
the
now
option to
anyone who
download.
does not have Figma account right now, you can please type on the chat box. Otherwise, ये confusing हो जाएगा. यहाँ तो है किस चीज के लिए? जिनका Figma account नहीं है, अभी ऐसा कोई है क्या? Please mention your name in the chat box or just mention a comment in the chat box. So everyone is having Figma account. So we can just
Okay.
start with the Figma the home page directly. So everyone, please make sure that are you able to see this page जब आप Figma में जा रहे थे? क्या इस तरीके का landing page आपको दिख रहा है?
You'll be able to see your profile over here.
अब यहाँ से you don't have Figma, Pavni. Okay, Pavni. So okay, we will go through that process. So we'll quickly go through that process. Open Figma. You can log in through your Google account.
Yeah. So when you type Figma, then you'll just quickly be prompted for a quick login, right? So if you want to connect your Google account with that, then it's fine. Otherwise, you can just create an email and a password with that using a single sign-on. So once you've done this process, then you will be automatically redirected to this landing page.
So I'm still seeing students sending their activity in Nandini and one of the guys here.
So once everyone is on the screen, please let us know. Then we'll proceed further. If you're having any trouble with your login, then you can either it's more efficient to use your Google account because that way it makes the login process easier.
And it's also accessible to all the devices जहाँ पर आपको Google account logged in है.
Yeah.
Easier for you know.
We'll wait for everyone
access on
to come to the screen. Yeah.
Once everyone on this landing page, please let us know. Nikhil and Pavni, are you able to create your Figma account? I'm sure you will cover that.
Okay. So Pavni, have you created your account? Yeah. Okay. All right. So moving ahead, I'll just quickly give you a brief overview of what this page is. Oh, I'm sure you must be seeing a panel over here on the left. It helps you access community files or something which the other users of Figma have created. The first one, you will be on the recents page. Now, if you go to community over here, you can see like other designs that the users have created and shared with everyone else. These are all accessible for everyone. Whatever you see here, you can make use of it in your own designs. It's also completely free to use, but then there are some like paid ones as well. It'll show you and prompt you like which ones are free resources and which ones are not. Then moving on to over here, whatever file you have recently accessed will be displayed on this homepage. And these are the different kind of files that you can make using Figma. First is the design file that all the designers work on. Second one is FigJam. It's basically like a whiteboarding platform where you can put up all your ideas and thoughts quickly in an efficient manner. Then it's slides. You can also create presentation slides using Figma. The make option over here is Figma AI. It helps you give a prompt and then create a design based on which you can take inspiration for it. Or even if you're a paid user of Figma, then you can even copy those designs into your own personal design files and make use of it and build on top of it further. Then this is Buzz and Site. Site is basically for like hosting your own Figma site if you are creating one. Then moving on to community section. As I've told you, like here, everything is accessible to you, even if you are going to just search it over here. For example, buttons. If you search buttons over here, then all these different kinds of user interface designs that everyone has created, they are sharing their files on community over here. You can essentially just click any one of it, open it, and look at what the description of the file is. If you like the design, then if you click on open in Figma, you will be creating a duplicate file of the same file and be able to use it in your own application. So it's easier that way for you to access everything. Then moving on to drafts. These are like temporary files that you've created on which you're working currently. You can save them, you can name them again and organize them. If you're going to mark it on the sidebar over here, then you can easily access like some of the important files, because sometimes when we create drafts, it's like a collection of a lot of files over here, and then you'll have to go through the entire search process. So just to make it easier and handy for you, whatever file which is important and you're working on it, just mark it as favorite and it will come up on your sidebar. Then over here, coming on to projects. So every Figma account lets you have one team project in the free plan. And one team project can have at most 3 files. Over here, as you can see, I already have 2 files over here. Now, if I create a third one, then it's allowed. But if I want to create more than 3 files, then I won't be able to share it in using the team project. What I'll have to do is create more files in draft only. And then from draft, I'll have to share it with other people who I want them to have access with. If it's like a lot of multiple users that you want to share your file with, then what you will have to do is move your file from drafts to your team project and then share the link of the file. Otherwise, Figma will not allow you to do that. And for drafts, you can create as many drafts as possible. It's not an issue. Then over here, resources, we have customized templates for the teams and something like that. Now, if you upgrade to a professional account, it will be accessible for you as well. Otherwise, it's not a problem. Then this is the trash bin. Like, of course, if you want to delete a file, then it will be showing up over here in trash. If you want to permanently delete it, then you can further go into trash and delete it from there. So is everyone fine with the layout so far? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, FigJam पे Sharon.
Hmm.
For tomorrow, we'll be moving to
Figma. Yeah. So if you click on FigJam now, as you see, we have created an untitled file over here. Yeah. Now, this is the navigation bar that you can see for FigJam. It has all the essential admin control file. If you want to create a new FigJam file, then you can create it from here as well, edit it, and see all these different options that you can do over here. If you want to use any certain plugin or manage plugin, then that's also possible, along with widgets and preferences. And you can rename your file, for example, day 1. session. Yeah, it's quite handy. You don't even need to save it. You just click it out and then it'll automatically save. Over here, you can also create pages over here one by one. And I think the limitation for this is also 3 pages, up to 3 pages. Now moving on to the bottom.
Board to access like
Yeah,
you can put a unlimited amount of
anything.
content into it.
Actually. And this is like your profile. So the timer that you see here is essentially for whiteboarding sessions. What the designers do is for like brainstorming and thinking, they put up this timer so that whatever comes to their mind within that limited time frame, they can just put everything here and then make sense of it later. Then this one is for templates that you can access from the FigJam community as well. If you are conducting a meeting, then you want like a handy template and you don't want to create your own, you can go through all these templates for even for your brainstorming sessions. It's quite handy, and the visual layouts of these templates is also quite nice if you want to make use of it. Other than that, over here we have like flowchart. And if this is Figma AI, a part of Figma AI basically. If you just type a flowchart, you can give like more details and just ask it to make. Then it will essentially create a flowchart for you over here. Now you can simply go and edit whatever content you want to do, or whatever it is. It'll create a template which is quite industry on par with industry standard, because for decision dialogues, we use this kind of rhombus. And for square, it's like the essential functionality. The start button should be rounded. So the template is like very standard and you can make good use of it. Then you can just delete it. Whatever you need, even the mind map, anything, all these options are there, or there's something you would like to create yourself, then just give the prompt and ask it to make. That's also possible. Now coming on to the toolbar, the first one is the select tool, which is helping us select everything across the screen. Then this is the hand tool. I don't think you can see what the hand tool is doing, but let me just create like that. Okay. So if you just press H or click on this, it will help you navigate across the canvas for the FigJam. Because when you are doing a lot of brainstorming sessions, there are a lot of sticky notes that you might be able to use, and there will be information all over the place. So it's quite handy to navigate across it. You can just select it. Now for selecting, you will have to go back to the select tool. Now you can select it and delete it. Otherwise, the hand tool is just for navigation. It will not let you do anything else to the object. Then here is the marker tool. It's quite easy to use. Whatever you want to write, you can use it. Again, go back to the select tool, select it, and then delete it. Right? If you want to use a highlighter, this is washi tape if you want to like add it to your sticky notes and something like that. Eraser, marker tool. Of course, there has to be an eraser tool. Let me just close it. And then you just erase it completely. It does not erase in parts, so you'll have to be a little careful with that. Then this is like the size or that you can select. Now coming for the marker, you can also customize your color template over here if you'd like and select through it. Then the next part is sticky notes. Sticky notes are very essential. What it will do is like create a sticky note with your name on at the bottom. This feature is designed because teams collaborate on FigJam essentially. So whenever someone is like brainstorming, it helps in like remembering what idea was presented by which team member. So in this way, you can make the layout consistent and also like color coordinate accordingly. For example, if we say Pratik sir will use blue, a blue sticky note. Right now, it will show my name on top on the bottom because I am the one who's using this account.
Profile, if you can just
if you
share. Also let them know how to share.
Okay,
also
yeah.
over.
So if you want to share your FigJam file, which you will have to do with us as well, you can just copy the link with anyone. Now what you'll have to do is like edit, give us the edit setting, but this is not possible since the FigJam is currently in your drafts. So you'll have to move it to your team project and then share it. Right now, I'll just share it with the email address.
PRTK.
PRTK.
Pratik Bush.
PRTK dot.
Pratik, PRTK people. BMSH at the Gmail.
Okay. So when you type in the email address of someone, you can select if they can just view or edit the file and invite. Once now see, it is prompting that you're working in drafts on a free starter team. What you'll have to do is move this file to the team project. Move. And now that invitation link has been sent. So when you're working on your own personal FigJam file and you have to share it with us, you will have to do the same and move it to the team project. And that's how you will be able to share it with us. If you want, you can share using our email address or just share the link with us, like copy link from here. Now, whatever link you've copied, it will be accessible from here. Right? Are there any confusions so far? So notification. Okay, yeah. So one more thing. Whenever you are sharing your FigJam file with someone, you will not be able to, if the email has not been sent to you, what you will be able to see is like a notification over here. And that's how you can access that FigJam file.
We already have shared with.
Yeah. I shared it in the meeting link. Okay. So now what you guys can do is like create your own personal FigJam files and the mini activities that we are going to do in all sessions one by one. You can come and like work on it over here and then just share the FigJam file with us, right? So here's a sticky note. Then comes the shapes that you can make use of. Like if there's an idea, you just click and drag for the shape to be created. Now they can be multiple shapes. Essentially, you can create a flow chart or any other template using that. Then we have the line tool, even the connector tool. So what the connector tool does is like it automatically shows the main points of a particular polygon, and then you can just connect it accordingly. This is like a very handy tool to create flow charts, basically. So whatever you are designing, you can do that over here. Then is the text box. You can say it's like all the essential elements of a text tool that you have. Yeah, okay. So if you want to zoom in and zoom out, you can basically use your trackpad to like either expand it or when you squeeze it, it will be zooming in for that. Or just use the mouse scroll for that as well. Now you have all the color choices for the text. Then the type of text that you can select is limited because it's essentially just a brainstorming tool. So you don't have to do a lot of design work in this tool. It's just to collect your ideas at a very quick instance. Then these are the text sizes that you can use. Huge. It's like for basically for categorizing your sticky notes. You can just mention it on top. Then all these other functions are also provided. Bold, you can make it bold or strike through. Even attach a link to it, make it bullet points, whatever it does, and also start a mind map. Mind map is essentially whatever you're thinking, it's like a train of thoughts. Hey, how are you? I am okay. This is quite conversational, but like when you click over here, it'll keep on adding to that text. If you click over here, so this is just I in different languages and styles. Essentially, if you keep on working through this, you will be able to create a train of thoughts, which is like called a mind map. Now, if you want to select everything all together and delete it, just select it and then press delete or backspace. Now you don't have to like make one by one and then connect it individually using the connector tool. Other than that, next is our section. So by section, what we mean is like if you have a collection of ideas and you want to differentiate it with another thing. For example, right now you are thinking of Zomato over here. So everything related to Zomato, you will compile it in this section. Now, if you want to look at another application, it will be like a different set of ideas. So you create another section for it. And similarly, you have like all these customizations possible to help you differentiate in between these sections. It might not be visible always, so you can just change the color for that. Then the table, like the one we were using for the activity over here. If you want to create a similar table like that, just make use of the table option. If you click on adding, keep on adding the columns, you'll have multiple columns. Similarly, you can add rows for that. And for selecting, you just press Shift and Backspace. Select one column, Shift and Backspace. Like quite handy for you to make all these tables. Shift and again double shift is like you can select rows and columns. Is that fine? Now these are stamps. These are essentially like just to make it more interactive while you're working with the team. If you want to stamp this, okay, this idea was great. So you just put a stamp over there. If you want to select like the final idea, okay, this was our final idea. You put a stamp over there. So just feel free to make use of it. Now comments, you can give comments like someone is reviewing your work and they'll just add in the comment like, please elaborate. Ideas. Now, this is the comment that I've put for this particular section. Similarly, you can add comments anywhere in the file that you'd like. And it will also be displayed, like whatever comments have been made in the entire file, they will also be displayed over here in this comments panel. Now, moving on to actions. There are not a lot of actions presented to you right now, but if you want to search for something, which is like edit, it will automatically prompt or like list a few actions that you can do according to that. Like if you want to create a bullet list, these are basically shortcuts for whatever you want or you need at very handy to be. Then this one will again let you choose the templates because as you can see now that we are working on this file, the dialog box that was appearing over here for template, one shortcut is over here, which will open up all the templates for you. Now the other one is over here. Over here also you can see a lot of stickers, whatever is presented to you in the free plan. If you want other designs, then you can go ahead for the paid plan as well, and they'll show more options according to that. Templates, widgets, plugins, if you want to try. There are a lot of plugins made by the users, and you can see like it's written, it's paid. So you cannot use it in the free plan, and you'll have to pay on top of it. Then create sticky from text. If this is the plugin that you want to use, and these are the directions of how you can use that plugin. It's written at the bottom. So if you are confused in using a plugin, you can just click it and then go down at the bottom. You will see the description as well. Right. So let's do a short activity over here in this file. Like later on, you'll create your personal FigJam files as well. But for now, whatever you presented in the chat over here, like you can try creating a table over here in the similar format. Like it should be an application name, target user, user needs, and just paste it in this FigJam file. Are you guys creating your personal FigJam files and then making it over there, or would you like to work on the same file right now? Okay, I'll just erase all of this. And if you want to delete a comment, you can just if you cross it, it will just close the comment but not delete it. If you want to delete it, you just delete the thread. Right? Okay. So let us know if you are doing that activity in your personal FigJam file or just over here. I would suggest like let's all come on this one FigJam file only so that we can see what you guys are working on.
Should we ask every one of them to create their own signature file and then share with you and
But they'll have to share the screen right now, sir, to show. Yeah.
For now on, we will do this thing, but
Yeah,
later
for
on
now, yeah.
For
For
tomorrow
today.
we'll do start in that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's also comfortable about that.
Just let us know if there are any troubles that you're facing in that file. Are you just exploring the workspace right now? Yeah, so if you just click on it, it is just a selector tool. If you want to create a table, then you will have to go to the bottom of the toolbar. Okay, I see most of the students are requesting to edit the file. Okay, okay. Yeah, you can request access and then I'll share it with everyone. If it's not accessible to you currently. Okay, I'm sharing the link again. What are we supposed to do now? You're supposed to create a table for that activity that we were doing just now. The one we were discussing, create a similar table in the FigJam file for yourself. Later on, you can add it to your personal file as well. But right now, we just want to see if everyone is comfortable with the FigJam board. Once it's done, let me know, guys, like if everyone's made their table. I'll also create a demo one. Okay, so yeah, if you select the table tool and just keep on dragging, it will create a table with a lot of columns and rows. So you can just limit it to whatever size you need. If you want to add columns and rows after creating a table, you just go right click to it and add a column to the left or add a column to the right. But now we want to add a row above. So just that. There are also shortcuts written for the same. Like here you can see Alt Shift Enter, Alt Enter. All these shortcuts, you can make yourself familiar with them so that it's more efficient for you to use the platform. Yeah, this is the basic template of for the activity that we were doing just now. If you want, you can also merge those cells together.
See all of them are working together in the same space. That yes, I will be able to make that.
And then later on, you can use a section to highlight which one is yours. Okay. And once you've created your table over here, what you can do is just click select it and copy it and just go and paste it in your personal FigJam file. All right. So we'll give you five minutes, I guess, to complete the table that you guys were working on.
एक बार फिर से वो फिल्मों वाला कंपनी स्टिकर स्क्रीन since you all are working on the same Figma file as of now, please also mention your names. जो आपने उसमें आपके सेक्शंस में जो आपने बनाए या फिर ब्लॉक्स आप क्रिएट कर रहे हो वहां पर एक जगह पर आप अपने नाम भी जरूर लिख दीजिएगा. And later on they'll be creating their own FigJam boards.
Their personal FigJam boards.
Their own personal FigJam boards. So then I can ask them whether it's been sorted on Facebook.
Okay, so for the section to highlight the table, you'll have to create it across the entire table. Like you have to basically envelop the table into that section. That's how it'll highlight, and the name is will be visible on top of it.
Also put a nice section. Yes.
You guys can go across each other's ideas also, and like if you want to interact, you can quickly go and put a stamp.
You can put a stamp, you can put so
like once you've reviewed it,
something.
I'll put a stamp.
I just
like okay, gone through this, it's a good idea. You guys can comment on each other's ideas as well. If you want to add something to it, you can leave a comment over there. Like, hey, you forgot or you missed this point. Sir, I am also using +1. So you'll have to create a different sticker.
Different one. I've been using forms like that. But it's
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
it will be visible who has put that like with the can with the color on it. We'll get to know who has put that. Maybe I can use the star eyes. It's that star. This we'll say this one. We'll just notice it out.
So one more thing to note, when you're thinking about target users, you don't necessarily have to think about their relationship with each other. Like you just have to identify a particular community or a demographic that you think will make use of that need. If they are correlated to each other, then it's fine, but it's not necessary.
Listen, over here, someone has written families and friends.
Yeah.
So that can be. But we don't know the name of the application yet. If we could know the name of the application, we can instant messaging was.
I think they're writing. Still
Is it
writing.
WhatsApp? What's
Discover and okay. So, oh, I'm sorry if I made some changes. Okay. So by mistake, you can also make changes to each other's tables. So just make sure that you're not editing their tables.
Yes. And if that happens by mistake, you can always control
Yeah.
and do it. And you can also spread out. If you zoom out, you can see there's a huge space in the canvas. So if someone is feeling constrained on the space, just shift on the canvas. Yes, cool. Cool. I can see you showing it spreading out. Oh, it's great. So you get ample amount of space for you to work.
If there are related points to a particular idea, you can always make use of bullet points to compile it together.
Those matrix.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can bring in images as well if you want.
Then how can I? There's a poll coming. Nikhil, just now, how can I highlight my page? What?
You mean highlight your table?
On the table.
Nikhil, right?
Nikhil, please explain your query. But आप mic on कर सकते हो तो that would be easy.
Nikhil, where are you on the canvas? Okay, silly Nick, is this the one? Yeah, okay. So what you can do is everyone's using section. So once you go at the bottom toolbar next to text, you make use of section, you select it, and then you click and drag across your table. Okay. Okay. Now a key important point to note is like once you've created that table in that section, if you delete the section, your table will also be deleted because now it's a part of that section, right? So if you want to create a different section, try making it over here, Nikhil, I think, yeah.
Nikhil.
Yeah, I'll bring your table over here. Now you try creating a section for yourself. I've deleted the one that I created.
So you know now how to create a section?
Yeah. Now you can go ahead and rename your section.
You can rename the section. You can choose a color to give it to that section. Yeah.
Now there are certain pointers when to note, like everyone's writing all age groups, right, in target users. However, that's not really feasible if you think about it in the realistic world. So make it more concise and like apt for your particular application that you're thinking about. Because like lawfully users below the age of 16 are not actually permitted to use a lot of mobile applications. Although there are not much restrictions.
There's also one more thing over here that there are target audience and there are audience who adapt to that technology. So the design decisions in applications are taken by putting your consideration only on the target audience, which is a very precise, as ma'am suggested, कि आप थोड़ा सा और constraint करिए, थोड़ा और उसको filter down करिए, थोड़ा उसको narrow down करिए उस bracket को, actual target audience कौन है, और कहाँ से that consumer, starts or kick starts their experience with a particular application, and then slowly that application becomes their habit.
Yeah.
And their day-to-day usage. So now those people who have already adapted to it does not necessarily fall into the target audience. So the newcomers are the niche and they are targeted at, priorities are given to those new consumers.
Okay. So someone has created a table for Paytm over here. I'm not sure who it is. Let me see.
Section 2 of
Yeah,
the
section
Paytm.
2. So the target users you've identified are, okay, Jitesh, right? Yeah. So the target users you've identified are fine because like we understand the context of like what you're trying to say. But when you go to the third point, which is mobile recharge, bill payments, money transfer, these are essentially more features. These are the features that the application is providing rather than being a target user. A target user can be someone who's like well educated, who wants to make use of all these features.
So these are the features, Sutosh,
Yeah.
and you can shift these features in your target user needs also. So it's fine to do it for this moment. ये सारी चीजें हैं जो है मोबाइल रिचार्ज बिल पेमेंट मनी ट्रांसफर ये इसके फीचर्स जो आपके इस ऐप में होने चाहिए.
Yeah.
Well tried. So please इसको आप शिफ्ट करें यहाँ पर, और अगर अभी भी कोई कंफ्यूजन हो जितेश, so please feel free to discuss with us in further depth.
So meanwhile, I can see like most of you have created your tables. Now, if you can come over here and take a look at day one activity that we've prepared for you guys. Over here, there's a template for this table that you guys can copy or create your own. And what you have to do is select a particular domain or industry out of these three options that you're going to make a project on. Like throughout this workshop, we are going to make a particular project towards the end of the workshop. And you have to select the domain which you are comfortable with or you want to create, right? So just mention either one of them, whatever you are choosing in your table. Then the next part is what mobile application are you thinking of making using Figma? Like you can just write a short description of what kind of an application you want to design or are thinking. And then later on, we'll filter out changes or some decisions accordingly as we keep on learning. But for now, we just want to know what you are interested in so that you also have a direction of what kind of a project you'll be working on throughout this workshop. Then the last activity to do is just suggest a name to your project. So these are the three main things that you have to do and create a similar table. Please make sure when you're copying this template from here, you don't accidentally make changes to it so that if someone else is also coming, they can access like the correct information. Right. So this is basically your homework for day one. What you can do is copy this table along with whatever you created over here.
So can you guide Pranaya how to create a section once?
A section, yeah, over here. Okay. So Pranya, as you can take a look at my screen. Over here, we have the bottom toolbar, right? So just next to the text tool, you have a section tool. And the shortcut for it is Shift S. So if you just press Shift S, then you will be able to see like your pointer is converted into a select tool basically, right? And over here, if you just click and drag, then a section will be made.
I think the section on this phone and show her.
Okay. So Shift S and we'll
create section in
select
such a way कि आपकी पूरी table उसके अंदर आ जाए.
Yeah.
And it will become a part of that section by itself.
Okay, so now this is your own section. I'll undo it to remove it. Now you can try making one for yourself. If you're looking for the section tool, it's the second one next to the text tool. And if you just go and hover on the tools one by one, you'll be able to see its name and the shortcut for it written next to it. Okay. Nice. Someone's created it in the original website format.
Okay, so again over here, I can see that WhatsApp के ग्रुप पेज में हमने लिखा हुआ है 13 to 60 प्लस. सो ये भी गाइस एक बहुत बड़ा सेगमेंट हो जाता है 13 to 60 प्लस. सो ये थोड़ा सा हमको नीच डाउन करना पड़ेगा. यहाँ पर एक चीज को समझना जरूरी है. why I put taking this up is because इतना बड़ा टारगेट ऑडियंस अगर हम रखेंगे तो फिर डिजाइन डिसीजन लेना मुश्किल हो जाएगा कि यूजर्स जो 50 प्लस एज के हैं 60 प्लस एज के हैं, दे हैव डिफरेंट what do you call it, that the physical abilities also वहाँ पर change होती हैं, and their sense their mental models are different. So what happen most of the time, ये experience आपने भी किया होगा कहीं ना कहीं पर, कि जो ओल्ड एज ग्रुप के जो मेंबर्स हैं जो व्हाट्सएप यूज करते हैं, वो लोग कभी ना कभी आपसे अगर पूछते हैं मुझे व्हाट्सएप में ये करना है, ये कैसे करना होता है, ये फीचर समझा दो. and then you come as a help, and then help them show them how to do it in WhatsApp. So you see the WhatsApp application particularly is not catering to their mental models. नहीं तो वो उनके लिए बहुत इजी होती समझना. वो एप्लीकेशन डिजाइन कर रही है इस पर्टिकुलर यंग एज के लिए जो इजीली सारे फीचर्स को ग्रैस्प कर सके, और फिर जो दूसरे एज ग्रुप के मेंबर्स हैं उनको एक्सप्लेन कर सके, हेल्प कर सके अडेप्ट करने के लिए. तो यहाँ पर हमको ये टारगेट ऑडियंस में एज ग्रुप रखने का या फिर थोड़ी क्राइटेरिया रखने का मेन रीजन ये होता है कि हम समझ सकें कि हमको जो भी डिजाइन का डिसीजन लेना है कि कलर कौन से यूज करेंगे, फॉन्ट क्या यूज करेंगे, और फ्लो कैसा सेट करेंगे, कौन सी चीज, जैसे मैंने नेविगेशन का आपको दिखाया था क्राइटेरिया से एक एग्जांपल के थ्रू कि किस तरीके से कौन सी चीज किधर पे आपको नेविगेट करते हुए लेकर जाएगी. ये सारी चीजें हम किस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन को ध्यान में रख के कर रहे हैं. फिर बाकी जो उस सेक्शन से बाहर के लोग हैं वो इस सेक्शन के लोगों से हेल्प लेकर उस एप्लीकेशन या वेबसाइट को यूज करना सीख लेंगे, because by that time it will become the necessity to use that application. तो डिजाइन कंसिडरेशन बहुत नीश के लिए लिए जाते हैं, एक छोटे सेगमेंट के लिए लिए जाते हैं, जो सेगमेंट उस ऐप को एग्रेसिवली यूज करे, और वो एग्रेसिव यूज जब होएगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली उस एप्लीकेशन की डिमांड इतनी बढ़ जाएगी कि वो एप्लीकेशन यूज करनी भी पड़ेगी सबको. तो दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल देम टारगेट यूजर्स. ठीक. और इसमें अभी अगर और भी कंफ्यूजन आएंगे धीरे धीरे आते जाएंगे, बट वी क्लियरिंग देम आउट वन बाय वन.
Also, if someone wants to include any media along with that table, you just go to the more option. When you click the plus sign, which is towards the end of your toolbar, and you select more, there is an option to like upload media. So that's how everyone's including images in their file as well, if someone's wondering.
So meanwhile, it's already 13:20, only 10 minutes are left for the session. So can we start the QA session if they have any?
Yeah, sure.
And we'll also inform that they have to create their own personal Figma book and share that with us.
And the day one activity, I've shared the template over here in this file itself.
So day one activity is the homework. Tomorrow, I think we'll share with them the main screen.
Yeah.
जिसमें हमने सारे templates लगाए हुए हैं. आज they are exploring. Tomorrow will be the good day.
Hello, ma'am. Can you explain the homework again?
Sorry, can I explain what? Could you please repeat that?
Ma'am, homework क्या था वो पूछना था.
Okay. So I have attached the template for the day one activity over here at the top of this FigJam file. We'll also share it with you later on after the workshop has ended. And over here, what you have to do is select one domain which you are interested in out of these three domains. One is fintech, edutech, and e-commerce. Just select one and any one domain that you think is interesting to you. And what you have to do is like think about the mobile application that you want to design throughout this workshop. So every day, whatever we are learning, you are going to implement it for your own personal project and present it towards the end of the workshop. You will have to present whatever you've designed on the very last day. So just think about it, what kind of designs you get inspired by, or what is a particular feature that you would like to implement. If it's like you don't have to think about if it's feasible or not at this stage, just think of whatever you want to make. So just make a note of that and then just give a name to your project, which makes sense to you. So just create this. Yeah.
You can take today's time to do that. It's not mandatory to do right now.
Right now, yeah.
तो आप इसमें से कोई भी तीन इंडस्ट्री में से कोई भी एक पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री को चूज करिए और आप क्या ऐप बनाना चाहते हो उसका एक शॉर्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन लिख दीजिए जिससे कि सबको क्लैरिटी रहे कि हम करना क्या चाह रहे हैं. ठीक. And then throughout this workshop, by the end of this workshop, we'll have one your application created by your own. Everyone have understood the homework? It's not that tough thing to do. Something that you might have already thought of.
It's also present in like the presentation slide that we'll share with you. Any other queries you have regarding whatever was discussed today, or you would like to share your own opinions about something? Okay, how did you change?
You guys, they are also sharing a Google form, a feedback form. So that will be shared each and every day to you, with you. So please make sure that you fill in that form every day that you are attending the workshop, and it will also be counted as your presence in the workshop. I'm just quickly sharing that in the meeting chat. Guys, I have shared a feedback form with you in the meeting chat. Please and make sure it's mandatory, because it's mandatory to fill the feedback form, because it will be counted as your for your attendance as well. And we'll be filling up these feedback form every day for the workshop. There's kind of repeated ideas on.
Okay. Has everyone created their tables in Figma? I'm assuming most of you have already made it, right? Do you guys still have any questions about the users or user needs that you've listed down?
Now that they are also making good use of comments, and
Yeah,
it's like
interacting
basically the
with each other.
collaboration is already happening. So it's a good thing that how we can work on collaborative feature boards.
Yes, everyone, please make sure to mention your names in the section of whatever you worked on.
Expecting her to edit that.
You've placed it for her.
Yes, but you can double click on it to edit the text.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Jessica, please mention your name in the section so that it's easier for us to review.
Pranay, you can Control Z or do it by pressing Control Z. Mostly by sticking the.
Deleted it. Okay. Undo. Okay. So
Use the Control Z. Right?
yeah,
Control
Control
Z.
Z.
Pranay, you can try Control plus Z.
If someone else has deleted it mistakenly, then you can also Control Z. So did you delete it?
Just make do.
Okay.
It might be possibility for that to happen.
Control Z.
Are you able to control key plus Z key? Pranay?
Yeah.
कंट्रोल पहले आप प्रेस करिए उसके बाद कंट्रोल के साथ Z प्रेस करिए आपके कीबोर्ड में
And keep on pressing it until it goes back. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you got it. Got it.
Rings logos. Jensen. Okay. So guys, today's session is almost about to end now. If you have any queries or doubt, you can discuss it with us.
Anyone having any queries or any doubts? So we'll be sharing that PPT presentation.
Yeah.
Also.
Later on.
So we can share it on the living chat. So that we can
So on the chat right now.
No, that would be better too.
I'll have to share the file
Yeah.
after downloading it. We'll share it in the WhatsApp group.
We'll share in the WhatsApp group, and I will also share the feedback form also in the WhatsApp group so that those who have not accessed it yet, we can access it from there. So let's be respectful on the WhatsApp group. We have a discussion over there.
Okay, guys, time's up now for today.
Happy collaboration. All
Yeah.
the best.
It was lovely
See you
interacting
tomorrow.
with everyone.
From one of the given domains.
Yes, so you have to select from the 3 domains that have been listed in the table.
I think we missed social media. So because the constraints are different, so it would be better if you choose from one of them. What you can do is Nandini, what application do you have in mind? What do you want to create? What domain is it? E-commerce. Okay, it's fine. The e-commerce is already there.
Yeah.
And that's a domain, right? So try to restrict yourself in these 3 domains only. We have मतलब जान के हमने social media we did not keep that in that domains because the considerations are completely different over there. Okay, so try to stick to these 3 domains only as of now and start creating. So we'll further discuss from tomorrow that how we will be starting with Figma and how the Figma design actually works. So आज हमने Figma देखा, कल हम Figma design पे आएंगे and we'll move forward towards creating our applications.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.